Good evening and welcome to this live edition of UCTV News. I'm Luke Hajdasz.
And I'm Lindsey Kane.
We begin tonight with some sad news for fans of Spongebob Squarepants. The creator died yesterday after a long battle with ALS. Steven Hillenburg announced his diagnosis in March and promised to work on SpongeBob as long as he was able. According to CNN, Spongebob Squarepants has aired in more than 200 countries since its premiere in 1999 and has been translated to over 50 languages. Hillenburg was 57.
Dozens of demonstrators blocked a major Alabama highway Monday in protest of an accidental officer-involved shooting. According to ABC News, protesters blocked traffic on U.S. Highway 31 at Interstate 459 in Hoover, demanding justice for Amantic E.J. Bradford Jr., a 21-year-old black man who was killed by police officers on Thanksgiving after seen with a gun following a shooting at a mall in Hoover. Police mistook Bradford for a gunman who shot and killed an 18-year-old and a 12-year-old moments earlier. The real suspect is still at large.
President Donald Trump defended the use of tear gas on migrants trying to cross the U.S.-Mexico border on Sunday. Trump says no one will enter the U.S. unless it is done legally. Trump says the tear gas used at the border was very safe and a minor form of the gas. According to BBC News, migrants are seeking asylum in the U.S. to escape threats of violence in their home countries. Thousands of migrants from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador must wait on the Mexico side of the border until courts have decided their cases.
In the spirit of Giving Tuesday, a Michigan tree farm has donated nearly 600 Christmas trees to military families. Volunteers have been helping to cut and load the trees onto trucks to be delivered to the Marine Corps Base Camp in North Carolina. The donation is part of the Trees for Troops program, which has been in effect since 2005. In 2017, the program donated more than 17,000 Christmas trees to 70 military bases across America.
Former UConn Huskies basketball star Tony Hansen died Sunday after a heart attack. He was 63 years old. According to UConn's Daily Campus, Hansen was the third leading scorer in UConn men's basketball history and founder of Hoop Dreams, a nonprofit organization established in 1997 that is part of a United Kingdom government youth initiative. After a successful career at UConn, Hansen played for Europe and then coached the Tees Valley Mohawks, with whom he was associated for 2 decades.
Several birds were stolen from a New Haven pet store this morning with a value of about $15,000. According to police, a newspaper delivery man noticed the front door to Worldwide Fish and Pet Store on Amity Road was pried open. The police then contacted the owner, who realized multiple parrots and cockatoos were missing. Police are looking for footage from next-door businesses and traffic cameras. They say it's possible a U-Haul truck was used to steal the birds.
In New Britain and Berlin, health providers and law enforcement announced on Monday that they will help people suffering from opioid addiction by getting them treatment. The Heroin Opioid Prevention and Education Program, or HOPE, says that they will not arrest anybody suffering from opioid addiction who asks for help. According to NBC Connecticut, the state's attorney for New Britain, Brian Perleski, says the program will focus on quickly connecting addicts to resources to get them on the road to recovery.
GM recently announced cutbacks on production at 5 of its North American plants, 3 of which are in the United States, in Ohio, Michigan, and Maryland. President Trump responded by threatening to end certain federal tax credits, which the New York Times reports have helped to underwrite GM's electric vehicles. The government helped rescue GM from bankruptcy in 2006, and President Trump referenced that in a tweet this week, saying, "The U.S. saved General Motors, and this is a thanks we get. We are now looking at cutting all GM subsidies, including electric cars."
After months of travel through deep space, NASA's InSight lander has finally reached Mars. The lander touched ground on Monday and is set to conduct research on Mars for the next 2 years. Using solar-powered devices, it will measure earthquakes, underground temperatures, and other data to help scientists learn more about the planet's geology. Now, if all goes as planned, InSight will help NASA to better understand Mars and move mankind one step closer to setting foot on the red planet.
UConn's football team will finally meet Purdue. UConn football has announced a series with Purdue University. The first game between the Huskies and the Boilermakers will take place in September of 2021 at Rentschler Field. The Huskies are also scheduled to travel to Purdue's home field in Indiana in September 2025. The game at Rentschler Field will be the first meeting between the two teams. That does it for us here tonight for UCTV News. Be sure to tune in next week for our last broadcast of the semester.
And be sure to follow us on social media at UCTV Channel 14. Good night.